Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we will be covering the order management service. So, in the previous videos, we have covered the customer management, product management, and in this one, we will be covering the order management. Um, so, wherein it will interact with customer management and product management to create the order and retrieve the order. So we will split this video into two, otherwise it may become a bit too long. So we will split it into creating the order and retrieval part. We will have it in another video. Um, yeah, so let's get started. So if you are coming to this video directly, I would highly recommend to follow the playlist and uh, 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 follow the introduction like one by one video, otherwise it will be very difficult to find the context. So in the earlier videos we had created this uh, customer and product management app and a retail API library. So let's just start creating the order management. So the first step would be like we go to services. I think what we can do is we can just copy paste and just rename this to order, and after this we will change the details which are required, like order, save, close. Now let's import order. Okay, let's see, this has been imported. Okay, let's start with renaming the app. So this is the entry point. Let's rename it to order. Similarly, in the Gradle startup file, let's change it to order. Steward run controller. This will be somewhat similar, only we are going to expose two APIs. So one is order, create and find, and the live is like a common one. Order controller. Let's create the service. Before we service, let's first go to the repo and entity first. Here, the IDs will be a little different because it will be a composite of order and product. So we'll see what we can do. Entity here. Uh, Oops, entity. Order entity. Now, order repo, order entity, long, looks good. Let's rename the service to order service. Yep, looks good. Repo is order repo. Let's rename the mapper to, the mapper would also be a little composite of uh, product, customer, and order. So we'll see how it goes. These are done. So this is order mapper. This is done. So this should return an order. Oops. First of all, before this, we have to create the order API here. Let's quickly create a package. this is done. So what all things we'll have? We'll have the ID first, then we will have customer ID, about which customer provided order. Then we'll have product, which product. So for in real-time scenario, it can be that one order may consist of multiple product IDs. But for let's keep this uh, what to say, like little simple here. So this we will have one customer ID, one customer, which is like, and product ID, or we can have multiple products. So let's create class. Let's create a class order product. So here we can have an ID, then we can have the product ID. So this is more of a transitive table I'm thinking of. So this will have a product ID and an order ID. Oops, what happened? And we will have the quantity, and we will have the product also. So what the idea is, like, again, so this is a Lombok thing, so let's add the constructor. So the idea here is that we will have a list of order products defined in the order class. So like we want to set like collection of, I meant. Okay, so what we have is a product which will have the customer info and a set of products. So because one order can contain multiple product references, so that will go into the order products. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to quickly build this retail API. What's the issue? Oops, typo. And then we need to do a Maven publish to Maven local. Okay, now we'll do refresh and let's get back to order service. Here we should be able to get our order. This is the one. Okay, okay, so let's update the mappers also. Mapper return types. Oh, we forgot that we were on the process of this entity thing. So this is almost, this has to map that of the order. So what we can do is we can just copy it from over here to here, and we have to create one more entity, order product. entity data var all are. So we have this entity defined, uh, and order entity also has this one. Now let's update the mapper. Order mapper. Okay, this is going to be not that straightforward. We'll have a look at it. So here it should take order. Let's quickly refactor. Order entity, instead of this will be okay. This is sorted till this point. Order entity save. Okay, this looks fine. There are two problems. What are they? Save, and this one is product service dot. Okay, this has to be return type is order. Okay, so let's name the service also. This is done. Let's fix this one also. Save. Okay, the controller should be fine by now. Service is also fine. Okay. Now here it will be a little different because it has to integrate with the customer and the product service. This is a little different from the previous ones. So till this point we have refactored all our changes to order, and now let's fix the service. The save part, it should be similar only, like the entity dot save once the entity is created. So we need to fix the order mapper actually. So this copy properties will not copy the, it will not do a deep copy. So what we need to do is uh, we have to manually copy the properties. So why is it set products? Get products. This is a type order product, and this is incorrect actually. So this should be order product entity. Yep. So now we have to um, do map of each one, like each of the items we have to convert. So what we do is we got the entity here, and we will be calling the order. So we don't have a mapper yet. We haven't created a mapper yet for order mapper. For the order product entity, we need to create one mapper, which will be order product mapper, and this actually maps the order product entity. So it will be signatures should be similar only. So let's let's copy paste order product entity. Next order product. Similarly, this should be the opposite conversion from entity to order product. Okay. Now a lot of things are repetitive. We can just order product here, order product, order product. I hope this makes sense because we are not doing nothing new. We have done this in the previous other two videos also, so I'm going a little fast. So we have the entity, we do the copy here. Similarly here we will have just, so here we need the entity, order product entity, return type. Okay, so this is done, and so that this is it, we can inject it. We will be injecting it over here, order product mapper. Let's create a constructor, and so this should get injected. So this is already there. Dot map. What we are getting is here is product entity. So let's pass the product entity, and once we get the map, we need to, like, once we map it to a, instead of the entity we get the order product type. So we are using this one, so it is returning order product, and then we have to do collect. That's the issue. Okay, collecting it. Yep, so this should be fine. Okay, so what we are doing over here is these lines are like normal copy, and here we are trying to do a nested. So an order will have an order product set. So for we are iterating over each of the items in the set, converting from the entity to the corresponding transfer object, and then mapping it via this order product mapper and collecting it over here as a set, and then setting it to the order products. Hope it makes sense. Similarly here also we need to do the same thing. So what we'll do is entity dot set products. So we will get, oh no, order dot set products. So what we will get is like entity. So dot get products dot stream dot map order product entity order product mapper dot map. In fact, we can use a shorthand notation, that will be better. This one, will it work? Map, then collector to set. Here also I think we can use a shorthand notation. It will be it looks nice. Okay, So here we are returning the entity. Here we are returning the transfer object. Looks fine. Order product mapper is done. Okay. So one thing which is still not fixed is the uh, uh, Hibernate annotation mapping, one to many and all. So let's first fix the customer thing. Hmm. Sorry, customer, we won't be storing it anywhere, so I think this will make sense. We won't need this. This is required more for in the transfer object layer. So at the entity layer, we won't need the customer because we won't be saving it, the whole customer object in the DB. So we won't need, but in the transfer object layer, which is the order class, we would have that. That makes sense there. So this will be a one to many, and we want cascade all, and let's do fetch type eager. Yeah, this is standard Hibernate mapping or JPA mapping. So one to many join column on this one. Where is our this entity? So this will be ID, generated value, strategy equals auto. Yeah, okay. Entity is already there. Looks good. Product quantity, and okay, again here also we won't be saving the product in the database, so this product reference makes sense only in the transfer object layer. So yeah, now this looks fine. Let's just do a quick build and see what happens. Gradle w clean build minus x test. It's compiling. I think the compilation went fine. Now it's okay. So there are no compilation issues as such. So let's quickly start this one and see whether we are getting any response or not. Again, I think I need to pass the environment variables just like the previous ones. Let's copy management app, paste, apply. Okay, save this one. Let's run. Server started. Let's hit with the postman. Not this one, localhost 1 8080/order. I don't know if it's too small. The URL I'm hitting is localhost:8080/order. We are getting a live with a timestamp. Looks fine. Now let's try to hit a post URL to save some data. Raw XML. So for preparing the JSON request here, we would need a valid customer ID first. So let's quickly just check one customer ID and one product also. So let's see if I have any valid product with one. No, okay. I think the server is not up. Let's just quickly check the database. So what we have is 39 seems to be a valid one. Let's use 39 as customer ID here. So we would The structure will be of this type. Where is our order? Yeah, okay. So note, if you see the getter setters here, but we haven't written any getter setters because we use Lombok, so it actually generated the code for us. So this is from the jar it is opening, so that's why. So customer ID we got as 39, and we have to also pass a list of products, and this will be an array. So within the array we have to pass order product, which should have a product ID, and order ID is auto generated. Quantity, so product ID and quantity are the mandatory ones. So let's copy product ID, and we have to get a valid product ID also. I'll get it, and we have to pass, what was it, sorry, quantity, let's say 2. Now the thing is we need to get the product ID from the table. Select star from product entity, let's get 19. Let's use 19 over here. Product ID is 19. Okay, what does it say? Comma instead of symbol, instead of colon. There is some issue with the JSON. Let me just quickly validate the JSON in where is my browser? What is the issue? Yeah, what it says is product ID 19. It is expecting. Okay, so I think I'm missing a curly braces here. Ah, okay, looks fine. Let's hit the request and see what happens. So error, we get an error. Just see what is the issue. It says order product cannot be cast to order product entity in order mapper. What are we doing here? Oh, oops, I just did an opposite. Instead of getting it from the transfer object, I just did the opposite. So order products, I'm getting it from this one, get all this and convert them into an entity. Let's see. Let's restart this one. Server started. Okay, so we get some response, we get an ID. Customer object is null, and here within the product object is null. This will be done once we integrate this with the customer service and the product service, but we have the ID. So if you see, we are getting back the customer ID, which is 39. Product ID is also there. So when we return the response, we should be giving the complete object. So this looks fine. The basic operation of the service, like save, and I think hopefully the get should also work. What is the ID? ID generated is 40. So let's try with 40 get. Yes, we are getting the same thing. So once we do this integrated with order and customer product and customer service, we should not see them as null. So let's keep it at till this point in this particular video. In the next video, we will try to integrate with the other service and also create Helm charts and complete this order management service. So if you have continued this far, thanks again. See you in the next video. Bye bye.